what would these soldiers be drinking. More importantly, what would their generals and their superiors be drinking, and then if they were allowed or not dead, they could drink afterwards. With that said, we really uncovered some really cool stuff. So my proposed name, you guys name it whatever you want. But this is an adaptation from a recipe from 1863. We got it out of a book called The Young Housekeeper's Friend, published in 1863, 1 year before our 150 celebration. This was published by a lady, Mrs. H.S. Cornelius. And when we start to track, this gets real geeky real quick, but when you start to track cocktail evolution and even like culinary evolution, when things get invented and you start to see how it crosses state borders, we have reason to believe that though this was invented in 1863, here in Tennessee people would have actually been drinking that, though it was invented a lot closer to Virginia or North Carolina. So that said, I'm going to make for you something that I'm proposing to call Boneset and Spruce. What they would do is they would make beers. Anybody ever had ginger beer before? Okay, so we all know ginger beer is actually non-alcoholic. It's a nomenclature thing. It's just a word. And what that means is a very concentrated flavor as opposed to ginger ale, and it's effervescent, so they just tag the word beer to it. So they would make a beer out of essence of spruce, which we have here, which is not easy to make, I'll put it that way. And we are doing a Boneset bitter. So for those of you taking notes, this is a cocktail of brandy, rum with lemon juice. We have essence of spruce. We have bitters made out of Boneset, which is one word, B-O-N-E-S-E-T. And we are topping this with ginger beer. So I'm going to go ahead and make it now. The sweetening agent here is also molasses. Again, it was just a really cool excavation project for us, realizing that the sweetening agent of the day, a lot of people were doing molasses as opposed to white table sugar. Back then, white table sugar was actually very, very expensive. Molasses happened to be in its own backyard. Additionally, we were going to garnish with mint because, as we all know in the South, mint grows like a weed. And that was also something that was cheap and we didn't have to buy. So I'm going to go ahead and make one for you. We've been enjoying one here, but again, you guys name it whatever you want, but this is our adaptation from a cocktail called Boneset and Spruce from 1863 in The Young Housekeeper's Friend.